This is Saturday Salvation for November the 1st, 2025, here on Following Him, the Disciple Life. Let's take a moment to talk about 1 Corinthians 6, verse 11. The verse reads, "And such were some of you, but you were washed, but you were sanctified, but you were justified in the name of our Lord Jesus, and by the Spirit of our God."
Hey, you didn't read that right.
No, I did not read that wrong. Let's talk. Today is November the 1st. At least when this first airs, it's November the 1st. And according to some religious calendars, this is All Saints' Day. But here's the thing. All Christians are saints. The beginning of this verse begins with the words, "And such were some of you." Now, this is a reference to verses 9 through 10 that gives different categories of sinners. And I would submit it's not an exhaustive list, but Paul is talking about those that will not be allowed to have a part in the kingdom. And he mentions things like fornicators and extortioners, those practicing homosexuality, various things of this nature. These are things that the disciples at Corinth, that members of the church of Corinth, that some of them had been, but they were washed. You were washed in the blood of Christ. We put him on at baptism. And then we'll skip that middle word there, the second word in the list he gives here, and go to the third word. They're justified. Now, what is justified about? To be justified, think of it as just as if I'd never sinned. The idea of the term, it's a legal concept that you're held as if you're not guilty of the thing, that you are held as if you did not commit the transgression. So just as if I'd never sinned. Now, in a practical sense, yeah, you're guilty. But as far as how God views you, you are not. Between washed and justified, we have the concept of what I call sanctified. But the New King James has sanctified. The word saint itself, talk about that a moment before we talk about the word sanctified. The word saint itself, while there are certain traditions that have attached a lot of things to it, the word means a set apart one, a holy one. The word sanctified is just the verb form, a verbal form of talking about being set apart or being made holy. And so when it says sanctified, this is basically that you're made into one of these set apart ones. So in a very real sense, that you are sanctified. This is what's done that sets you apart. So you're washed, you're sanctified, you're set apartified, and you're justified. You're just as if you'd never sinnified. You know, that is what's going on in this verse, and that is talking about people at Corinth that had come. Some of them had come from some, very blatantly sinful lives. Yet they too are saints because they've been sanctified. So if you're a Christian, if you've been washed, you've been justified, you have been sanctified. You're a saint. You have a great rest of the day, and shalom.